welcome to 40 Corner TV. This is We're the North Bank. I'm joined by Dom again. How are we, sir?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. Not too bad. Recovering slightly from Saturday, which I think was a big hammer blow to us all. But other than that, I'm doing good. How about your good self?
Yeah, I'm pretty much the same. Being a little bit down because of it, but it's we have to kind of move on and not dwell on it too much. I mean, it's not great. We all know it's not great, and it's not going to be easy for City either, is it? At the end of the day, but we'll kind of get into that. But
Yeah, exactly that. And look, ultimately, it's one that hits us much harder, I think, because of the circumstances around the weekend, and sort of you get into that expectation point. Obviously, no one ever likes to lose, but this one does hit harder because of the manner of the loss, I think, a little bit. But as you say, there's nothing we can do about that now. All we can do is, as the old fortune cookie wisdom is look to the future, and that starts tomorrow night, right?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, it's I've seen plenty of streams today, and people saying that if you could guarantee the win on Sunday, would you go out of the Champions League and all this lot? And it's like, well, you can't guarantee anything anyway. So there's it's only the next game. It's just the next game. Deal with the next game, and then worry about Sunday when tomorrow is out of the way, basically, isn't it? But for me,
yeah, I want to win both.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, yeah. We want to get them out of the way, and then obviously City have got no games midweek, so they've got a week to recover. But
literally on the beach, aren't they?
Well, I don't know, are they?
I'm not sure if Pep was joking, but I think he was saying that he was going to nip down to the beach, take them away for a couple of days.
Okay, fair enough. Well,
there we go. I don't know how true that is, but
yeah,
we'll find out if they got a tan on Sunday.
Trying to do an Arteta, doing a Dubai thingy.
Be interesting to see if they get slaughtered for doing that or not. I mean, I don't know if they are. It was one of those ones that was sort of a tongue in cheek, and then he sort of said, "No, I'm not joking." So I don't know if they really are or not. But
yeah, you never know with him, to be honest. It's kind of one thing after another, and it's just yeah, you just don't know if he's serious or not, because he gets all sorts of questions leveled at him. I don't know if you're watching the Barcelona game, but
I was just about to ask you about that. I'm not watching it, but I am following it. That's a bit of a turnaround from last week.
Yeah, so they've scored the equalising goal over the two legs, as it were. So they're leading 2-0 away. And there's a Barcelona player that's just out on the floor. I think he ran into the keeper.
Oh, blimey.
I'm trying to see how they're showing replays, but I don't know if they're showing the replay of the goal. But I can't actually see who it is that's down at the minute.
I'll let you know if I find out.
Yeah, it's I'm watching on my phone, so it's quite far away and quite low down. So I'm obviously not trying to concentrate on it too much. But there we go. A couple of comments here. We got Big Arsenal Brecky. Evening, gents. Evening, sir. And if you are in the stream, please make sure you're in the like, subscribing, and sharing the live as well. I've been much appreciated. Thank you very much indeed. It was
it's Fermin Lopez that's down.
Oh, is it Lopez?
Yeah.
Lamine Yamal is just sat on the ball. Is really concerned about him. Literally just parked his arse on the ball.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I'm seeing anyway. Apologies if that's wrong.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They just did a still of the offside decision. So it's 2-2. Hyper protagonist, evening. Hyper, how are we doing? Hope we're all good. Are we watching the football as well, or are you just online? The Liverpool game is still 0-0.
Yeah.
So which has got the same person that I was watching last week. It's got the same person basically watching it, and it's not looking good, Brev.
Is that on the old group WhatsApp? Lots of that, is it?
Yeah, lots of hand gestures. Yeah.
I think if it all continues like this for Slot, there might be a different hand gesture, which would be, a rude version of that.
or the big finger.
Yeah.
Finger.
And not the one on Gladiators.
Not the one on Gladiators. No. Got an eye on the Liverpool game for some reason. We'll switch now, I think. Yeah. It doesn't look the most entertaining game, I have to say, but there we go. Appreciate you joining us as well as always. Yeah. What were you taking away from the Bournemouth game?
I wish it was a bad dream and we haven't played yet. No, I mean, look, I don't think anything.
It's 2-1.
Yeah, I was going to say I've just seen a goal flash up, but I'm not sure who for. But yeah, there you go. Lookman.
They literally just ran up the other end of the field and just went, "Yep, okay, we can do that as well."
I mean, some game so far, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. So again, Barca need 2 goals again to get through.
Yeah, one to obviously take it further, but
yeah.
I mean, I think we've said all season, haven't we? Really, that this league is really, really tough, and we're going to see odd results. I remember saying before City lost back, not lost, but drew back-to-back games with Forest and West Ham, was it?
Yeah.
That they drew again. That there are surprise results in this league every single week, pretty much, and that both sides will drop points. I didn't expect to drop points against Bournemouth. I think they're obviously a good side, but not at home. This wasn't one that I was expecting it. You worry more about the relegation candidates and you worry more about the ones in and around you. Bournemouth was sort of mid-table. And I felt that we were actually well matched against them in terms of they sort of suit the way we play. But the reality is, I think, in this game, and there's no getting away from it, we didn't attack well at all. We didn't defend particularly well. We gave up, XG has its limitations and flaws, but I think the reason I bring this stat up, and I think it's really, really telling, we gave up more chances, we created less, and that matched the eye test watching the game. I mean, you're presumably in the stands. But the players really looked nervous, like really nervous for the first time. I don't think we looked nervous in the cup final, particularly. I think we looked a bit shell-shocked when we went behind because of that way we went behind. I don't think we looked nervous against Southampton. This was the first time I thought we looked scared and nervous, and that was a little bit worrying. And I think it's made more jarring by the fact we've obviously hyped up the game in terms of the club and the manager, which I think probably in hindsight is a mistake, but equally it's worked quite successfully several times this season. So I understand why they did it. So I'm not going to be overly critical on that. It's when you lose it, you look silly, but when you win, you look like, wow, that was the right decision, wasn't it? So I sort of don't go one way or the other too much on that, but it was a very poor performance. And I think the worrying part about it seemed to be the mental block that the players and the managers seemed to be in. There was sort of no intensity, no fight. And I think that's a little bit worrying. I kind of likened it. I was talking, this is going to be a bit random, but I was talking to a Spurs mate of mine, and he and I were likening Arsenal's performance to Tottenham in a relegation candidate. I can't remember which one of us said it, but which was, we don't know how to get out of relegation fight, and we play with no fight, and you have to down there. And we kind of did the same in the title fight on Saturday.
Yeah, you're not in the right mindset to be dealing with it, basically.
The good news is Ekatike's injury looks really bad, apparently. But just to finish that point, I mean, Arsenal looked very nervous for the first time, and I think it was the expectation to win. There could be a silver lining, which is the having lost this now, it focuses their mind slightly and go, we are vulnerable. We've got to switch back on again. The other side of looking at is we've let City back in, and it's now up to the players and the manager now to see how they respond both tomorrow and on Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, it was lifeless. It was lethargic, and there's kind of a feeling that it was built up too much, isn't there?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's possibly with hindsight a little bit, but I think there is some truth to that when you look at it. I didn't necessarily think that before the game. I don't know about you, but I think after the game, the point's been made by several people, and I think actually that's a fair and good point. But I didn't necessarily think it beforehand, to be fair.
I'm not sure that you ever do, though, do you? Until you actually hits you in the face, and it's just a case of the kind of realization. It's like the whole sense of actually it does make a lot of sense that maybe we shouldn't have gone down that route. I'm just going to do something because
well, you talk about that. I think what I've been a little bit disappointed, but not surprised by some of the reaction to it amongst our own fan base. Where you work that out, and I'll be keen to sort of understand your thoughts and reflections on this. We've had a lot of "I told you so." We're not good enough. The manager's rubbish, which I just think there is a question about can he get over the line. But the idea that this manager is rubbish, I think, is ridiculous given where we are. And we've also got this, this bottle job narrative coming back, which I think if we do leave the league from here, I think is a bottle. I don't think it's necessarily been that in previous years. But we've also sort of got that sort of, I think those that sort of believe we're going to win the league, there is a little bit of worry there. And I think that's probably the place we should be, right? Which is, and maybe that's because that's where I am, which is we're still in a good position to win the league. We can still win the league, but that's an undoubted worry. But I do find this reaction where we're sort of absolutely going all in on the players and the manager about the entire season and their mentality. I think we're going a little bit too far in segments. I think we're absolutely right to criticise the performance and call out the worries. But I just think this idea that this league is over and there's almost elements of the fan base celebrating it, very small elements celebrating, I think I find really difficult to swallow. I don't know what you think about that.
Yeah, I completely agree with you, to be honest. Hello, mate. You all right?
Good evening. I don't know if you can hear me. Can you guys hear me?
We can hear you.
Oh, good. This is my first time. I feel like I've just popped some sort of YouTube cherry, but thanks for having me, Sparks.
You're welcome anytime.
Nice to meet you. Arsenal domination. That's what
Nice
I
to
want
meet
to
you
see.
too.
Arsenal domination. We feel a lot. Can we swear on the show or not? Tell me now.
Yeah, we're not monetized, mate.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about that. Yeah, you certainly don't have to worry about that.
Because I tell you, even listen. I just obviously sorry I'm late, guys, and sorry I didn't give you the heads up, Sparks. But I was just I had to put some stuff together, and I was just listening to you talk about the Bournemouth stuff, and I just thought, I suppose we do have to exercise some demons still, don't we?
Yeah, well, you exercise your demons straight away, mate.
Oh no, I don't want to jump in. I've already.
We were kind of moving on to a different topic because it was moving swiftly along. So you
for
have
our own peace of mind.
You have your 5 cents, right. and then we'll move along.
I'll keep it short. Brighton, but Bournemouth even can't get that right. Bournemouth shit show.
I'm sure Dom said it was Southampton a minute ago, so don't worry.
No. I was talking about our performance against Southampton. I didn't think we looked nervous, whereas on Saturday I thought we looked truly nervous.
That's old chestnut.
Yeah.
Sorry, go on then.
No, I don't. No, guys, we've moved on from Bournemouth, haven't we? What are we talking about?
No,
we haven't.
No.
Oh, God. Okay.
No, you've got the final word.
The final word was, I don't even know where to begin. I mean, it was just, I said this on the show the other day. It's like, I haven't seen an Arsenal game where there were no patterns of play, no bouts of possession, no passages of anything of any kind. And to me, it didn't even look like nervousness. It looked like cluelessness. It was just so far beyond what we've seen. I mean, we saw a little bit of it against City, but you thought, a rotated team, etc., etc. And then there was a little bit against Southampton in patterns, but we did have some chances, and we probably should have scored a goal or two. But this was absolutely terrifying performance.
It was massively disjointed, wasn't it? There was nothing in attack, nothing in defence. It just existed, really.
Yeah.
Well, any patterns of play went across the back 5 essentially. No. So you basically got the back 4 and the keeper, and they're playing amongst each other.
Yeah,
giving me bleeding heart attacks.
Well, David Raya touched the ball 60 times, didn't he? And his average this season is about 24.
God, it was crazy, man.
It was. I mean, I'm not the first person to note this. In fact, I can't even lay claim to this one. But it's been noted by so many Arsenal fans that we are more risk averse up top than we are at the back. That we take massive risks at the back. That has my buttocks opening and closing, and yet up front, it's like no, don't play the pass yet. No. And you got to think that they're in defence, like sod it. Let's throw caution to the wind.
Yeah,
Why not?
It was just odd.
At times, I thought we were going to do what we did away at Bournemouth, and Gabriel was going to give the
It felt like that. It did feel like that.
I mean, I could sort of. I wasn't calling out David Raya, but I thought he sort of really instigated, not exemplified what we're talking about there, didn't he? Because he gave the ball away quite a few times, which is very rare for him, which is why I sort of talked about the nervousness. But I think you're also right there that it's also that we're taking the risk out the back. And I think it's because Bournemouth, sort of the way they set up prevented us from getting out and playing through the lines. And therefore we took more risk to try and do it. And then bizarrely just went, do you know what? We're going to go long, but we went long aimlessly. And that's what, we just didn't, as you say, it didn't really look like we had any idea on how we were going to change the game at all.
It feels like
plan B.
It feels like you can. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if you agree or not, but it feels like you can only go long if you've got Havertz. Because let's face it, I don't know how you feel about Gyökeres. He is what he is. We bought him. We got him. He does some things. He doesn't do a lot. But the only person who can take a ball when they're fit and proper and on form is Havertz. So if you're playing him in the midfield and you're going long, you're not really going to Havertz. The only time it did work is when Raya played that absolute beautiful daisy cutter when we did beat the press, and he got the ball to Havertz. He had loads of time and space, and then laid it way too thin on the inside for Martinelli when it was obviously such an easy pass, and it just spoke volumes about where Havertz is. And at that point, I think I'd headbutted the floor about 17 times.
I mean, there was a couple of chances to break away. The Rice one where he tried to bend the ball through, which if that had gone through, he's through on goal. And I think it was Gyökeres as well. So he was like, well, if he gets on the end of that, he's probably scoring because it's 1-on-1 with the keeper. And there was another one that was tried to play through, but it was so close to. I think it was a Martinelli one, and it was so close to the defender. That the defender just put his leg out and stopped it. It was just like it was mad.
Yeah, I saw that clip. The one that you mentioned, you referenced about Declan Rice. Again, I spoke about this morning. Is he tried to turn it around a corner, right? And actually, it was a smart idea and a smart ball. And I don't know what the crowd was like because I wasn't there. Well, I felt like I heard a few groans about that. But online, of course, in the online space, people have clipped that up and gone, "This is terrible. I was so angry." It's like, no, that's the ball
that's what you want him to do.
You want them to take those risks. That if that would have got us underway, that would have looked absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely.
If they're so afraid of taking those kinds of passes, then we are getting it stagnant and go nowhere. You can't sideways yourself up the pitch.
The problem I find is that a lot of the online fan base and actually some of the match going fan base as well now, they just seem a little bit. I don't know if confused is the right word, because it's like, well, I want this to happen, but I want it to be all pretty. I want us to be less risk averse, but but I don't want us to lose the ball ever. And it's just like, well,
I call it the Marie Antoinette approach. I was being serious. I really do. It is that I want my cake and eat it. I want to play attacking. Risky football that looks brilliant on the eye, but I don't want to give up chances at the other end. And I think it's one or the other. I think this Arsenal side, whether you like it or not, is built around control. It's built around muting the opposition and then looking to take the chances when they come, which are fewer. Sort of similar to sort of Chelsea in the mid 2000s, right? Whereas. That's the one thing which is a complete opposite to what we did under Arsene Wenger, which didn't deliver trophies either because we weren't good enough at the back. I do think that we do need to take slightly more risk going forward because, as you say, at the weekend there was almost none, and I think that has started to edge away in recent weeks, and we've seen our attacking output go down. We do need to give up some of that control, the downside is that we then, as you again say, we're giving up control at the back by trying to make something happen, which gives us away chances. So it's almost the worst of both worlds in recent weeks. But this Arsenal side is never going to be, as beautiful as Arsene Wenger's side or as entertaining as Jurgen Klopp's side, which, by the way, there were games when they played as well where they were very attritional. Everyone remembers the great Sane, Salah sort of, moments, but actually, I've got several friends, Liverpool fans saying, well, we don't always play like that, when they're there, but that's not the way
Anfield. Most of the time they did, though. To be fair,
in fairness, they were much more
when they went away from home. They were much
sometimes. You're exactly right. That's exactly right.
But at Anfield they were pretty solid and pretty determined to do anything really.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah. So,
but we're not going to be that side, right? We're just not. And equally, the way teams do set up against us makes it harder to do that. But we do need to find some of that pre-Christmas sort of even post-Christmas for a few months where we did show some more attacking intent. That's the bit that's missing, and that will ease some of the pressure at the back as well, ironically. But we need to find that right balance.
I feel like that a lot of that probably coincides with a mostly out but in and out Martin Ødegaard, because let's face it, we haven't had him for a season really, and when he's been there, he
out as well.
Yeah. I mean, it's we're so right side biased that when either of those two aren't connected together, we can't get anything going down the left-hand side whatsoever. But I did want to mention like the transition things. I want to ask you about this. Now, I mean, the statistics, I can't remember off the top of my head, but the statistics for goals scored in transition are really high in the Premier League now, right? We kind of all know that. And this is why I think a lot of teams try to aim for an element of control, but Arteta is the control master. He doesn't like to lose the ball in transition. But does that mean he doesn't back his team to get into shape? Because we're pretty good at that. You have to expect to lose the ball, and you've got to back your team to go right, sprint in, get back in shape, do everything necessary to defend. Why is he so risk averse, if he is, about the transitions? Does he not trust the team to deal with it?
I don't think he thinks the team is clinical enough.
Right. Yeah.
So basically, he sets up more to recover because it's likely that they're going to need to recover.
Yeah, but you can't transition when you give the ball away in the 6-yard box. You can't get back into shape. I mean,
that was mad. I mean, it's the first time I've seen that. To be fair, So Boring FC, evening gents. Do you think we're missing Carlos Cuesta from an attacking perspective?
I think it's hard to know from sort of behind the scenes, and as I say, the way the Premier League is this season is much more different to how it was when he was here. So I think it's hard to make that sort of leap. But what I think, just to the previous point that was being made, I think that transition is best shown in recent weeks and months by Martin Zubimendi, when maybe a bit of tiredness, but he's taking far less risk. He's much more cautious, and ironically, he's actually losing the ball a little bit more. I thought one of the real positive things early on was he was looking to play the one touch and play the ball forward, a bit like sort of, we talked about this before, Sparks and I, Martin Ødegaard and Zubimendi getting in the same space.
My cat on the court on the cupboard.
I knew exactly what it was. I knew exactly who it was.
You were talking the other day, Sparks, about I think you mentioned something about cat hair. And any eagle-eyed viewers that watch my show, we here at Babs HQ, we have cats, and every now and then I'll just see a single hair floating past the camera.
Yeah, it's so annoying. It really is annoying.
All my clothes are absolutely covered in them.
It's when you breathe in and you just get one, and it's just your nostril. And it's
yeah, and you're trying to speak normally live doing a stream, like
I don't need to be feeling that. Thank you very much.
Yeah, cats are welcome though, of course. We love cats.
Of course.
Bring all the cats, all our kitty friends.
Yeah, absolutely. But
sorry, Dom, you were saying.
Well, no, I was just saying. I think that transition is really. I don't have cats, thankfully, because otherwise I wouldn't be able to talk properly because they'd all get stuck up in my mouth and get fur balls. But Martin Zubimendi almost illustrates. Martin Zubimendi almost. No, don't you worry. No, I wasn't going there. But Martin Zubimendi almost sort of illustrates that point about the transition, how it has become less trusted or maybe he's being asked to do it less. I don't know what it is, but early on in the season, you know, he was almost being criticised for giving it away. But I was like, actually, he's trying to make things happen. Now he's almost gone the other way, where actually, like, Martin, just can you just move that ball forward? Because we know you can do it, but he's doing it less. So I don't know if it's a tactical instruction or whether it's just where he's getting tired, he's lost a little bit of form and maybe a little bit of confidence. I don't know which it is.
Lost the confidence, because his progressive passing in the first half of the season was outstanding. He was missed a vertical pass, wasn't he? And we were all sat there going, bloody hell, we found it. We found another one. And now it has to be confidence. Has to be confidence. I worry about Zubimendi, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I also think that though when he's been asked to play that little bit deeper, because he doesn't, Arteta doesn't like playing the two attacking fullbacks. So when both fullbacks are bombing forward, he doesn't want Mendy going forward, Rice going forward, box crashing or whatever, and then there's just no cover at all. And I think that's where we spoke about the the one hair, and there it is.
Yeah, there it is. Makes an appearance. Welcome, guys, to Cat Corner TV.
Yes.
Almost right on cue as well.
Absolutely, yeah. Yes. But yeah, I just wonder if, because both fullbacks were attacking, he seems to like one attacking one and one that stays back and just does a bit more kind of less running. And I just wonder if he's told them to sit deeper a little bit because he had two attacking fullbacks. But it just seemed to go a bit much, to be honest.
Yeah, I think some of it will be tiredness as well. I mean, it's a
fatigue mentally as well, isn't it? Obviously,
to what he's used to, but it is worrying, and I think it's possibly a mixture of all of those things we've just spoken about. But it is affecting Arsenal in a very negative way from my perspective.
Yeah, I mean, this leads into a massive can of worms, really. But you sometimes you've got to ask yourself if whether the summer transfer window was all it was cracked up to be. We spoke at length about really good squad depth, but if you're not going to use those players, if you can't trust them enough to come in and give players rest. I mean, Norgard is the obvious example. I mean, he's played 56 minutes this season. I refuse to believe that they didn't know he was not good enough to play, because otherwise it's complete malpractice. You can't go and buy a captain of Brentford who, with all that Premier League minutes, is pretty highly rated, and him turn up at training and go, oh, he's not quite what we thought he was. That seems crazy. He's got to be good enough, surely. If not, then someone's really not done the due diligence.
Yeah, somebody has cocked up if that's the case. But yeah, I mean, I don't really understand that one, to be honest. But that's really the only one I don't understand. I think everybody else has been rotated pretty well, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
I would agree. I would agree with that. It's
Nwaneri, maybe. I mean, but should he been loaned out? I'm not too. I was in the realms of if you can add something to the squad, even if he's sat on the bench, then don't loan him out, just keep him. So yeah.
I mean, that loan deal has not worked out very well at all. Although I think he scored at the weekend, didn't he? Am I right?
He's scored a couple, but he's had a couple of nightmare games as well.
Do you think that's a reflection of the fact, though, he is still an 18-year-old?
Well, absolutely, and he feels like he's been ousted a little bit as well, which, MLS kind of stole his thunder a little bit, didn't he? And then he's ousted a little bit. So,
I mean, for me, I don't. Can you say single points of failure? That doesn't work, does it? Double points of failure. The two biggest worries really were, for me, was Rice and Zubimendi. And if you're not using Norgard in either instance, then I think you're kind of asking for trouble. That's my feeling on it. Everyone else, like you said, is pretty much been rotated okay. I mean, Nani's got good minutes. Martinelli and Trossard have got a timeshare on the left wing. We haven't had Havertz pretty much all season, and looks like he still might not turn
Marino
up for this.
out as well.
Yeah, I mean, Marino was obviously a big one. That was a huge loss, more than what we probably first realised. Yeah,
I think he's massive as well, because he's a leader on the field as well. So I think he helps to control and just to calm people down. I think he was underestimated what he actually does.
He's smart on the ball. That's why he's got real intelligence
and a bit of physicality as well, which I think is really important. And you can ask him to go forward, or you can ask him to sit. And I think that's a real asset, particularly off the bench. And his understanding with Martin Zubimendi as well, really important. But yeah, I mean, I would agree with Sparks, and I think overall the rotation's been there. It is Norgard that is baffling, and I think what it makes it more baffling is when you watch him, and okay, it's been against maybe lesser opposition. What's he done wrong when he has been on the field? I can't really think of a lot that he's done wrong.
And he had 2 games at centre back, didn't he? It was
in the Champions League.
He plays centre back for Denmark as well. I mean, he's not a Swiss Army knife, a Danish army knife. I mean, he's I agree. I agree with Dom. I don't. There's nothing in his performances where I've seen him and gone, "Don't ever let him start a game again."
Yeah, absolutely not. No, sorry, go on, Sparks. Yeah, quite the opposite. Actually, I felt, but
even if they execute the Rob Holding maneuver and bring him on for 10 minutes of every game, like to shore up the midfield or whatever it is, he just has in the Premier League. He's not had enough of a chance, and I do think we've slightly been punished for that.
I agree.
Yeah, and I think it is affecting two of them. I mean, I was talking this morning about Norgard for me needs to start tomorrow. Originally it was to give Zubimendi a rest, but if Rice is carrying a knock, then maybe it's for Rice. Maybe it's for both, and you go single pivot and go 2 10s. Maybe try something a little bit different. I think probably I wouldn't switch it up too much given we got the lead. I probably would go 2 6s, but Christian Norgard for me starts tomorrow. Give one of those 2 a rest. We should be able to beat Sporting with Christian Norgard in midfield. He's not a bad player, as you say. He's a Danish captain, I think, isn't he? He's Premier League experienced.
Huge.
And I know this isn't a Premier League game, but and we shouldn't underestimate Sporting at all. But he starts tomorrow for me, or should to rest ahead of the weekend.
If you were to, again, sorry to keep referencing the show at Big Arsenal Breakfast. You
can reference it as many times as you want, mate.
Oh, thank you very much. Cheers.
You also just picked up a new subscriber about 5 minutes ago.
Did I?
You did.
Come on, whoever that may well be. Is that you?
I can't think who it might have been.
I can't think who that was.
Slow on the uptake. Oh, geez.
I mean, how would he know that you got another subscriber?
I know. Sometimes, and you should hear me reading the chats messages at 7 o'clock in the morning when I've barely got my teeth in. I'm like, oh my god.
I've heard you, do some of them. To be fair,
stumbling over them. But,
early for me, to be fair.
Yeah, it's a lot early for a lot of people, I think. But there we go. It is what it is. We are live every day, ladies and gentlemen, watching 7 a.m. and 9 a.m. at the weekends. But
I shall see you on the 6:33 to London tomorrow morning.
Oh, really?
I'll tune in on the train.
Intermittently.
You've got a daily. There you go.
Well, twice weekly anyway. Let's not get
twice weekly, away. Even better.
There we go. This is it. This is the community I came for. The Norgard thing. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, I mentioned it on the show this morning. If we would have sold Norgard, right? If we sell Norgard and he goes to Sporting Lisbon or any of the sort of top 6 clubs in Portugal, you go, yeah, he's good enough for them. He's good enough for them. So why couldn't you start him against them? That's my rationing.
Yeah, I don't know, and certainly the cup games and stuff like that. It was it's definitely a bit odd for me, but there we go. AFC 87 always says, I brought my breakfast and lunch. I was sick after that shambolic performance. You weren't on your own, mate. You
rented it
on your own. We were all sick of it. We are going to touch on something else of that game quickly after I've just gone through these messages. But why does he keep playing Havertz in midfield when we don't know it doesn't work? I guess he's trying to adapt to something that's not really there.
Well, I was going to say, who else has he got? I mean, if he doesn't trust Norgard, who else has he got?
Yeah, well, exactly. So,
it depends on where you play him, isn't it?
He's supposed to be playing him as a shadow striker, maybe, but it just, I'm not sure it really works.
I don't like it in the 8, right? You want to see him further forward. If you're counting him as a midfielder because he's in a 10, but even then it's got to be a really advanced 10. If you're calling that midfielder, then I'm fine with that. But for me, as you say, I count that as an attacker rather than as a midfielder. I don't like him in the deep role, even as a sort of traditional 10, which is sort of five yards deeper than he sort of plays as that second striker. I don't mind him. In fact, I actually thought it looked quite encouraging when he was up alongside Victor Gyökeres. Yes, he was a man when we lost possession that sort of dropped deep to sort of help out. I didn't mind that, but you want to see him further up the field, not in that 8.
Yeah, but you're almost playing with 2 up top. That's why it works a little bit better. But playing it with deeper in midfield, I really don't. I really don't see it, to be honest. Zubi does look overwhelmed, even to the point where whoever is in the 8 or 10 are looking over their shoulders. Odegaard has been dropping to 6 from 10. I mean, he's always done that, to be fair. He had a season where he didn't do it. And I thought that Zubimendi was supposed to be picking up that slack.
Yeah, that's what I didn't understand. I mean, Arteta said in a press conference about 3 or 4 months ago now, when he was asked about Odegaard dropping deep, and he said, I don't want him to do that. Words to that effect, I'm paraphrasing.
He basically said it's him choosing to do it rather than him being told to do
instructed
it.
to,
So obviously he feels that nothing's being built up, so he's got to drop in and build it up.
I wonder if some of it's habit as well for him, because actually on the times where he has got a little bit closer, that's when he's looked at his most effective. We've seen it in little fits and starts of the season. He's obviously not been at the level he needs to be, Martin Odegaard, this season, but where he has looked that little bit better is where he has been closer to, generally speaking, Victor Gyökeres. And I get that he's a rhythm player and the injuries really do disrupt him quite significantly. Some players need to be playing regularly. Often people talk about that with Declan Rice, that resting him is often not actually what Declan Rice needs, because he needs the rhythm in his body. Martin Odegaard is more the rhythm in terms of the football, but he has looked better when he's been closer to it. And that's what I don't understand is, if we can see that, how can Martin Odegaard not see that? And there probably does have to be a bit here for Mikel Arteta going, I don't want you there. I specifically want you here. And that's where, that's where I want you to be. And, people say that he's too prescriptive as a manager, but this would suggest he's not being, assuming.
Well, this is the thing. If he's too prescriptive with that, then how come they don't basically have their own free will in attacking formations in other areas of the pitch? I don't really understand it. It doesn't doesn't really make much sense to me, that one.
And of course, it's also hard to say what is true and what isn't when you're a coach uttering things in public, because they will always not tell the full truth for obvious reasons. But everyone has an agenda, and that goes for absolutely every manager and every player. But but it doesn't quite, the two things don't quite tie up for me somewhere along the line.
Zidane won 3 UCLs back to back by not repeating the same approach every season, but by constantly reinventing his team. Well, in fairness, he's done 3 seasons in a row and done 3 different things. So
I was going to say,
don't really buy that. Arteta, how to lose his treble in 10 days will be best fella for sure. Even the goal difference is now a problem. I mean, it can be a problem. We're still in the driving seat at the end of the day. So we just got to make sure we don't screw up again. We've still got we still have points in the bag, but
Sorry, gents, I do have a vape here. I don't want to discourage terrible behaviour. If you're watching kids, these are terrible for you.
Zubimendi being here 1 season, he looks crushed after the Bournemouth game.
He did.
I mean, he didn't look great, but that's what the team's around for. That's what the captain's there for. That's what the manager's there for. So it's up to them to recover him. So at the end of the day,
at least he cares. But he doesn't. We do need to pick ourselves up. It's really important we pick ourselves up, and that will be really important this week. But his main job is less tactical for Sporting, more about this mental. Make sure the players are in the right place for these games, because we can't go out there in the same way we did on Saturday. Tomorrow, we need to win tomorrow to get confidence and rhythm going into Sunday. And I think the mental preparation at this point is absolutely key. And I know Gary Neville talks about this with Sir Alex Ferguson at this stage of the season. Whether you like Gary Neville or not, he won a lot of trophies, and he said actually that was the type of thing that Alex Ferguson would almost spend more time on at this stage of the season than the actual tactical side, because you know where you are, you know what you should be doing. You've been doing it for 8-9 months. It's can you do it mentally? Have you got the mental ability to deal with that pressure and the expectations going into it? And play for tiredness.
Sorry, Dom. I was just going to say on that Gary Neville thing, I'm loath to ever agree with Gary Neville because it really makes me want to vomit blood. But I did. Yeah,
he owns 2 fan channels now, so you got
if he's listening, no, never mind that. Ian Wright, if you're listening, if you want to build a rival dynasty, right, the Big Ass Breakfast Show is for sale. I will accept within the 7-figure deal that Goldbridge.
Yeah, I mean, you can have this for 3 figures. To be honest, with a decimal point in the middle.
Don't undersell yourself. Don't undersell yourself. Fine quality channel. It's one of the best out there. I was going to say the Gary Neville thing. He did say in one of his ramblings that it's a good thing that Arsenal have got a game coming up, and I actually did agree with that. I think it does give you. I mean, it could go the other way. We could fall out of that competition and it just
absolutely
hit the fan. But at the same time, it does give.
Which in fairness, he also said.
Oh, did he? Oh, well, I only listened to the good bit. But I did think that, tomorrow could be something of a galvanizing thing, but it depends on who we play, depends who's back. If you saw the presser today, I'm sure you're going to come to it. But like, I try to pick my predicted lineup tonight for tomorrow morning's show. I have no idea. I literally have no idea who's actually going to be secretly available, who he's going to play, and what that means for the weekend either.
It was like doing it for the weekend as well, wasn't it? Trying to pick that side was important. Actually remarkably close, but it was pure luck. It was luck. There's no. It's going to be. I haven't done mine yet for tomorrow morning's 3-minute short that I do. Yeah. But again, I'm like, I've changed my mind about 4 times today.
Yeah.
So stay tuned, guys. If you want, those of you watching, if you want more insight like this,
you're not going to get it. Oh, you are going to get it. It's not going to improve. Hammers Football TV says, "Evening, gents. Just dropping in to give us support. The sports channel. Title could still be yours, but all the hard work done over 9 months starting to stutter. Hard to call who wins the title." Yeah. I mean, it's the business end, isn't it? At the end of the day, it's when all the pressure piles on, and to quote Gary Neville again.
Oh gosh.
And no, we're not trying to sell to him. He literally said in the last 6-7 games of a run in, that's when the pressure starts, and that's where players need to stand up and be counted rather than shy away and whatever. But thank you for the subscription. Thanks for the follow. Anybody else?
It's Hammers TV. Can I? Do you mind if I ask just quickly, or just a note to Hammers TV saying, lovely quote by the way, lovely chat, but also, for God's sake, win your games. Like we could have a lovely booby prize if we don't win this Premier League if Tottenham get relegated. So go Hammers is all I can say to you.
I mean, I don't care about the booby prize. I want to win the title and Spurs get relegated.
Yeah, okay.
So I couldn't care less if we don't win the title. I couldn't care less about Spurs, to be honest with you. But to be honest, if we win the title and they get relegated, that's
it's living a dream, right?
It's definitely a nice little bonus for me, to be fair.
Was that a cherry on the icing on the cake?
A cherry on the icing on the cake, yeah. I mean, if we got Champions League as well, a cherry on the icing on the cream on the
all that with the steak and the chips and everything.
Absolutely.
Right at the end is a Tottenham getting relegated is like a stuffed vol au vent.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, I mean, I don't really care, but it will be funny. It would be
hilarious.
Oh yeah, we talked about it before, like it would be, it would be funny. But if you're asking me, does Tottenham going down or Arsenal win the league? It's Arsenal winning the league all day long. I can't.
Oh yeah.
I can't imagine a world where people would want the opposite, right?
I'd give up a charity shield. For Tottenham getting relegated. You guys went different.
Emirates Cup.
Emirates Cup. That's on our own grounds, though. Those are embarrassing enough.
They can still have it. They can still have it back.
Yeah, 100%.
That's like the Audi Cup, and you can.
It's why I didn't understand Chelsea fans wanting to lose at the weekend. Like, I don't understand them.
Crazy.
The only time I would want Arsenal to lose would be when we've secured something. The league is won, and you can make something bad happen to a rival if you lose. You know,
it's also so far away. You know,
exactly.
That Tottenham game when Son missed that chance. I saw something floating around the internet today that he sort of refused to answer a question about whether he missed.
He was interviewed, wasn't he? Yeah. So whoever he's playing for now, they did an interview, sat in a cafe somewhere, didn't they? And he basically said, "I've moved on from that now, and I'm not going to answer it." And you're just like, "What?"
It's absolutely extraordinary.
It's quite simple, isn't it?
With Chelsea, there's still like 7 odd games to go. You would think, like, if I was an Arsenal fan, I'm not going to lie, I think I'd be conflicted. I always want Arsenal to win, always. But if it was like the last day of the season, and we didn't have something to play for, like Dom said, then maybe there'd be a part of me like, it'd be really funny here if we'd lost and Tottenham missed out on something. But by and large, when there's about 8 or 9 games to go, I don't know what the Chelsea fans are getting up to there.
And particularly for Chelsea right now, they are in serious financial trouble.
Yeah.
They made significant losses last year under the FFP. They made they're in significant debt. There is a real danger they lose out on the Champions League. It's looking very difficult right now for them to get in there. Maybe, just maybe, Liverpool slip up because Ekitike's gone off injured tonight. Isak's only fit for 45 minutes. Maybe Liverpool slip up because they can't score enough goals, and maybe Chelsea sneak in that way. But they're on terrible form themselves right now. It makes no sense. There was everything on the line for Chelsea at this point. I didn't understand that mentality. We rightly should criticise them for it, just as we did with Tottenham those few years ago.
Sorry to interrupt. I just wondered I wanted your guys' thoughts on the Man City beating Chelsea thing. Do you think it's as big as it actually seems to us? I mean, I know it's Chelsea. I know it's they played well, Man City, but at the end of the day, I can't help but think that actually it might not be the biggest test that Man City had left at all. Given
I don't think it is. I don't think they're very good. I don't think Chelsea are very good. And I actually think, where they've got the big game mentality. I think the big game players have given up. I think they want out.
Yeah.
It looks like they want out. There was a moment when Cucurella, he'd have put everything on the line to stop that pass going through, and he kind of put a leg out. He's like I call him like a jack in a box, because he's always very springy. He's very he literally runs like he's on a pogo stick, right? So he's really bouncy.
Yeah.
He's like Tigger.
Right. So crap analogy, but you get the concept, right?
Yeah.
But he didn't do any of that in that game.
Yeah.
I think like Chelsea players. Yeah, I think the Chelsea players are with Rosen are like the Spurs players are with Frank, or were with Frank.
Yeah.
I think they have. They've come out publicly and said they didn't understand. A couple of them why Maresca was sacked. Now, I actually backed Liam Rosenar's punishment there, which was I'm giving you 2-game ban. He
absolutely had to do that. Yeah,
he had to do that. Otherwise, he loses the entire dressing room. One of the things, whether you like Arteta or not, is he changed that mentality and he moved that power away from the dressing room back towards the manager's office. And I don't think you can win leagues consistently and have long in a manager's job without having that authority. And Liam Rosner had to do that, or he loses all authority. Now, he may not survive because player power is so strong still, but he had to do that.
It's not just player power though; it's the board power, because they won't sell the players just because the manager like them. They'll just get rid of the manager, and that's why essentially Maresca went, because Maresca went in and gone, well, I can do better with this squad if you can just give me this, or you can just
and I don't want this.
And they went, well, you knew what the remit was. Your expectations might have changed, but ours hasn't. So
and they're not selling unless they get that spreadsheet value, and it is that we've got 8-year deal, we've got this much on it, therefore we need this much, otherwise we're not selling. Now, in some ways, there's some sense to that from a business point of view, and making sure that you're not an easy touch, because I think Arsenal over the years have been an easy touch on selling. Clubs know they can lowball us, so it does protect that somewhat. but it does, I think, hinder them going forward. And look, we've spoken about the experience before, but just to answer your question just now on Manchester City, I've just had a look at their fixtures. I think Everton away, obviously the game this weekend is huge, is arguably their biggest game and hardest game, because I think the way Everton play is kind of kryptonite to Manchester City. I also think, the other game that we shouldn't underestimate will be Bournemouth away.
Yeah. I don't doubt that they'll drop points. I think, like most Arsenal fans, now we're doubting whether we can win all of our games.
But I think we were always going to drop points as well, to be fair. I mean, I didn't think Bournemouth was going to be one of those, to be fair. But
you'll start crying again.
Yeah, but I mean, if we can get out of Etihad with a draw, or win, I don't think we can lose it.
Well, a win wins
it's important we don't lose.
I really do think a win wins it, because it gives the belief back to the players. The confidence would be absolutely through the roof if we beat them.
And vice versa for City.
Yeah, because it basically earns the game in hand back.
Yeah, exactly.
So essentially, it flips it in our favour. But then
also it's an easy sell for Mikel Arteta, then, isn't it? Look, you've just beaten Man City at the Etihad. I mean, let's face it. I mean, there's not many tougher games in world football than to try and beat Man City on their own patch. There's not many teams that do it. Even this amalgamation of Man City, it's the biggest game in world football, really. If you beat them, you can do anything. I think the belief would be extraordinary.
But
the belief's got to be there in the first place to actually get it done. That's the thing. Yeah. And I don't know if you've seen the you alluded to the press conference earlier on, but there were several players that weren't in the training session in the first place. Timber being one, Ødegaard, Rice, Saka. There are noises from Arteta that the Saka is a matter of days.
Yeah,
he says that before, though.
There are big rumours going round that that Saka is going to miss the World Cup. So from certain areas. Now, how verified that is, that I know that they've come from reliable sources. But yeah, and there's potential for Rice to be out for a period as well.
So what does Mikel Arteta have to gain if he knows that Saka would be out for the World Cup? Is he just going to...
I have no idea whatsoever.
Yeah, because he did say a couple of days, and he said he was within days.
He said it's days matter more than weeks.
Yeah, so if it's true that I'm not sure I would buy that World Cup rumor. I saw that doing the rounds on social media as well, and I thought, well, if Arteta says days, what does he have to gain by telling that kind of a whopper?
No, I agree with you. I agree with you entirely, but I'm not putting too much trust in it at the moment, but it is noise that's been doing the rounds.
Just really quickly,
2-2.
But yeah, I was going to say, you probably want to get to chat in a minute, Sparks. But just on that, the only thing I think he would have to gain would be to keep Pep Guardiola guessing ahead of Sunday, whether Saka's there or not, and you then take him to the team hotel and what. But I'm not sure that it's worth that, given the backlash. Then when you then comes out on say Monday morning and he's out for the World Cup, managers lie in press conferences, and I don't necessarily buy the days, but equally I don't buy the missing the World Cup stuff at this moment either. The only way that those two statements could both be true, and this is complete speculation, is he's going to be back in a couple of days and could be in the squad for Sunday, but they've got a planned operation for him at the end of the season.
Yeah, I was going to say the same. But then Saka would have to be making that choice, wouldn't he? Because if he's fit enough to play have any involvement to the end of the season, he has to decide whether he can make it through a World Cup as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was an Achilles thing. So apparently it was an Achilles thing. So I can't see him making that decision. Not now. He wouldn't be doing it now. Surely, if you're out of everything, then surely that would be the case. But unless he's sacrificing the World Cup.
Yeah, that's a hell of a sacrifice.
Yeah.
Hell of a sacrifice.
Then if he sacrifices the World Cup, then obviously, or if he doesn't sacrifice the World Cup, then he sacrifices the start of next season and whatever. But I don't know. Yeah. Maybe because he's missed a large chunk of this season, he doesn't want to miss next season as well. But
watch this space.
unless he just thinks he can't play. He can't play to that level in the World Cup,
which could be possible.
Yeah, so that's the only other thing, isn't it? So it's yeah, we'll have to wait and see with that one, and wait for a Nord Stream bomber, I suppose. But,
and hope it doesn't come.
Yeah,
there was a Nord Stream bomber today. Have you seen that one?
No, go on. What was that? What did I miss?
Iraola is.
He's not continuing, is he?
Yeah, he's not continuing. He's done at the end of the season. So
he's been disallowed the Barca goal.
He did handball it.
Yeah.
And
Arteta is definitely, like all coaches, he's an honest man. Yeah, you always have to take coaches' comments with a little bit of pinch of salt. I was just reading the bottom comment from Hammers Football
I
TV.
haven't got there. Just stop cheating.
Sorry, it just made
me. Doing that? Have you got your YouTube up as well as this stream bit?
If you press comments on the side, you should be able to see them.
Oh, where it says comments, yeah.
It says comments, mate. You just press comments, and then you use your eyes, and then you read it.
Oh,
right?
yeah. My dad used to say that to me. Did you look with your eyes?
Just in case you were struggling. This is my point. We're less effective going forward because these Russ. There are issues in midfield, i.e. Odegaard dropping. That's an issue. It looks like he or the team don't trust Subby. Yeah, I mean, there's weight in that. Yeah, they're just talking to each other, so we'll skip that one. Have to look at Man United last night. If that's how you want to lose a game, that's the model to base it on. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I mean, I wanted Leeds to win. I quite like Man United back in the top 5, to be honest with you, and I never thought I'd ever say that. But yeah, it would just
kind of feels right, doesn't it, in terms of the league as a whole?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it kind of adds a bit of equilibrium in the league, I suppose.
I prefer the rivalry with them than I do with Man City because of
absolutely, absolutely, yes. Yeah, we're not going to get onto that because I just don't really waste time with it because they're not going to get punished for anything. We have the momentum at the moment. Spurs haven't won a league game in over 105 days. If we beat you, then it's a win-win for you guys. Look, if it was over by that point, if it was actually factually over, I wouldn't mind losing to you, I have to say. I'd much prefer you in the thing. Now, granted,
I don't mind West Ham.
Yeah, granted, the North London derby wouldn't be in the league, but I think
goodbye to that. I don't care. There are some fans.
My amusement would kind of make up for it.
Make up for it more than.
There's plenty of other rivalries we've got. There's plenty of that. I don't need that.
Yeah, exactly. There's plenty of London derbies. We one out of the equation is not
the biggest London derby. It seems for me is Arsenal Man United.
Yeah, or Liverpool, to be fair.
Yeah, surrounded by them. They all came out of the woodwork on Monday morning when I went to the office.
They've awoken, haven't they? I swear to God, when they're good, they just flip between Man United and Liverpool. I swear.
Yeah,
it just seems very odd, doesn't it? That they wake up when certain ones are really good, and then go to sleep, and then another one wakes up.
Cocooning like wood lice, I seem to find.
Yeah, it's a bit mad, isn't it? It's a theory, but I'm not sure it's wrong. Just sub to Big Arsenal Brecky. Make sure you're subbing. If you want to put the link in the chat now, you've found the
Hammers.
Chat.
Cheers, Hammers.
You could always stick it in the chat if you want.
Hammers, I'll do the same as soon as I get. I can do it from here, can't I? Honestly, I'm such a.
You can multitask.
That's what my boss tells me.
Yeah, send the link to me as well. I'll do it when I get off because I can't multitask at all.
Let's make a deal at Hammers TV. You win all your games, we'll win all our games from here on in, and then by the time we meet towards the end of the season, we'll just have a party. Just have a big mutual party.
Have a party and scatter.
Yeah. Evening. Right now, I take Frank Gallagher over the Gallagher that's gone to Spurs.
Yeah, 200 grand a week.
200 grand. He must be laughing all the way to the bank.
Yeah, you're going like that. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'd have to be paid that kind of money to put that crappy custard shirt on though. Jesus, that was horrible. That shirt the weekend.
They have got them in them.
No, Dom, don't forget Arteta says he's an honest man, so all must be good regarding injuries, etc. Yeah, that's what you were laughing at before.
Yeah, it did tickle me that.
Yes, and Hammers to see it says deal.
I've just subbed, by the way, Hammers. Just subbed.
Yeah, yeah, I'll do that as well when I get off. What are your expectations even? See, taking tips off.
Yeah, put your teeth in.
Of not being able to speak. Expectations for tomorrow.
Dom, the floor is yours.
Oh, well, I was gonna let you go first. I think Arsenal. I expect Arsenal to win tomorrow. To be honest with you, we've got the home advantage. We've got a 1-0 lead. And I think Sporting are going to have to come out slightly, although ironically, that's where we struggled in the last few games, is where teams have come out slightly against us. But I would expect Arsenal to win tomorrow. I think I'm expecting a reaction from the players. You know, we have, generally speaking, reacted most of the season. This is our first sort of continuous dip, and we need to get out of it quickly. And I think Mikel Arteta will be wanting that reaction. He will expect the players there. It's difficult to know, though, with full certainty, because as we say, who's fit, who's not. So picking that side is really difficult.
I was going to react to that, and basically the reaction might be just not being fit.
Well, but whoever plays tomorrow, I think, the expectations are going to be crystal clear that you need to help change this narrative, and you need to help us win and get ourselves and the fan base fully behind the team on Sunday. And the expectation has to be on the players and the manager to do that, rather than the fans to do that. The fans will play their part, but you have to provide something for them to get behind. And I think that would be my message if I was Mikel Arteta tomorrow. But I would expect Arsenal to win this game. I would expect them to progress to the semi-finals. I think if we don't, we are getting close to full-blown crisis, in all seriousness. Just as I think if we lose at the weekend, then I think at that point, that's where the alarm bells really start ringing. But in terms of tomorrow, we just need that feel-good factor back, and it's an opportunity to do it, just as it was last week. We then just have to follow it up at the weekend.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, the only thing that I would add to that is that Fresneda's out for Sporting. Yeah. They're right back. Yeah. He's a good forward passing.
We nearly signed him, didn't we, under Emery? Late Wenger, early Emery. I can't remember where it was exactly.
And he's 17. He's a good player, and I think he's quite key to their build-up. They've got a right back coming in who's more of a veteran, so I think Martinelli should, if he starts, have a good day. The thing did
you start Martinelli tomorrow? Because I would.
Yeah, I absolutely would. Yeah, 100%. I mean, his stats, and I don't know what he drinks before a Champions League game. Maybe it's a Red Bull or something. I have no idea.
I was going to say Red Bull, like Jamie Vardy.
Yeah, exactly, and hopefully not the other things that are alleged. But I think the one thing that I would like to see to get us out of the rut, which is something I don't think we've seen really for months, is we're very good at wasting 45 minutes. We're so good at wasting the first 45 minutes. And the only thing that worries me is that if we allow them to be in the game for longer periods and they grow in confidence, to me, if I was a manager, which I'm not, it feels to me that you could potentially say to the team, if you win this, wrap this up in 45 minutes of solid, good, energetic football, you get yourself the reward of a rest of just passing it around for 45 minutes in the second half. The greatest passage of football I think I've ever seen under Mikel Arteta was when we beat City for the first time at home, a 1-0 win from the Martinelli deflected goal. And City rolled up their sleeves and they were like, no, you're not beating us. And we kept the ball away from them for 5 minutes. It's the most beautiful passage of play I've ever seen. Do you remember the 3,000 passes quote that Arteta talked about? And that's how you do it. I think if you get an early lead, you afford yourselves, not a comfortable win, but you afford yourselves a bit of confidence and just know we are the big dogs in this yard. I just want to see a good first 45 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, I just like to see that a better passing, more decisive, just first touch, one touch, two touch, whatever. Just not. I think Raya doesn't help at times because he kind of stands on the ball and it's just like, everything down. I think that approach is gone, to be honest with you. I think it's, I think people have, teams have kind of seen what it's about. And if you're going to draw it out and then go down the flank quickly, I think it can still work. But I think going through the middle, I think it's done.
I just can't think of a time it's ever worked. I can't think of recent memory where that drawing the press has worked, because quite frankly, we get turned over on the press so many times nowadays. Like we talked about earlier, it just leads to absolute chaos. I don't think that is working. The City showed the blueprint, didn't they, in the Carabao Cup final? You just line up 4 people as your first line of defence, and then you're completely stuck. Now, I know it was Kepa. Yeah, I know it was Kepa, but I don't think Kepa's not as good with his feet, but he's certainly not terrible with his feet.
No, his penalty is going to be overturned, by the way, for Liverpool.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's just been overturned. There you go. Oh, Hamilton TV's showing it as well.
Yeah, so he hasn't missed the penny; it's just been overturned.
It's been overturned, yeah.
And people in this other chat were saying it was a soft pen. So obviously it was no pen. But yeah, good.
You
so
know,
it looks
when
like
Stephen Warnock, a former Liverpool player, is saying it's not a pen for him, you know it's not going to be.
Oh wow! I mean, yeah, Mr. Bias himself. Yeah, he's quite literally Mr. Bias himself. I just want to go back to kind of the press conference, because he was asked how he's feeling, and I wish sometimes he'd just go, "Yeah, I'm fine." Do you know what I mean? It's like sometimes he's talking to the board, he's talking about to the owners rather than he's talking. It's like that Mourinho subliminal messaging sort of thing. I'm not actually answering your question. I'm treating your question like Josh has asked me the question, and I'm in an interview again, and I just wish he just answer the question and just go, we're just chilled, we're fine. We're gonna.
What was it? What did you take umbrage with most, Sparksy?
So basically, he said, I feel fire, and it's fire and whatever, and it's just like, I want you to bring the noise down. I want you to basically, rather than have the expectation kind of build and build and build again, just literally just drop the level.
I thought I must admit I think I sort of agree. I do think that no matter what he would have said in this particular interview, in this presser, he was on a hiding to nothing, because the bring your dinner thing has gone down so badly post that performance. That
I don't disagree, and I'm not digging him out. I'm not. Yeah. I'm not that guy. I'm not like. And I've seen a lot of people basically going, no, win or not, he's got to go. And I think that's coming from younger fans. And I saw one on Mo's stream earlier on, and to be honest with you, it screams of entitlement, and we haven't won the title for 22
screams
years.
Of short memories is what it screams of. Yeah.
Well, it's because you haven't seen the 22 years to get to it.
It's a very short memory.
So yeah, you have a short memory because you haven't lived the memory.
Yeah.
It's also that you haven't seen a side get to a title and see what it takes, and that actually quite often there are trials and tribulations. Everyone remembers the Liverpool and City 100 points and what have you, or City and Arsenal even, pretty much going unbeaten in, from January to the end of the season. They barely between them lost the game. That's not normal. That was a very, very unusual period in Premier League history. That's not how titles are generally won.
No, I don't think it is. But I mean, go back to the presser thing, Sparks. I actually quite liked it. It wasn't. I don't think it was too much from Arteta. I don't mind him saying I'm on fire and I want them to bring pure fire. I don't think it's the worst one he's done. I felt like he toned it down a little bit. He's obviously heard or felt the reaction. I didn't think there was anything too annoying about it, but again, I don't think no matter what he would have said, even if he would have done what you asked, Sparksy, there would still be people out there going, where's the energy, where's the commitment, where's the
I don't disagree, but I just think I think from now on, I think he just needs to flatline everything. and literally just make it the most mundane, boring. I think Terry said it on Football Terrace as well. Literally just flatline everything, and just you know, all these TV screens and whatever. If you want a TV screen, have it indoors. Whether get or send the cameras away. Don't have an open session, whatever. But yeah,
I like watching TV outside though. I like if they're not the TikTok videos, they could have had an episode of The Office on or something. I don't know, a little bit of chill out or.
Yeah, but the thing is, he knows that everybody's going to make a meal of it, so it just literally just. I don't know if you're playing up for the cameras, but if
I
you
think
are,
he was.
then
He was.
Yeah, he's got to be. It's like it's the biggest screen we can have. Put it outside.
Yeah, I mean the pens thing was. I'm not anti team building and that sort of stuff, and I do imagine that some of those exercises actually do work, but mostly behind closed doors. And I'd imagine some of those players might have felt a little bit embarrassed with the cameras there and whatnot. I'm not sure how much that worked. That did seem like it was for the screens. And as you said, with the bring the dinner stuff and bring in the purifier, whatever it is that he says, to me it feels like he's trying to will this stuff into existence. He's trying to will these reactions into existence that aren't actually already there. I personally, after the Bournemouth game, spoke about this the other day on the show, I'd like a complete media lockdown, just all of it, switch it all off. You don't need so much social media content. All the fans really need is a come on you Gunners and get behind the boys, and that's about it. I think we're all good for that. The hype machine is definitely not worked, and I do think, going back to the Bournemouth thing, it intensified.
Yeah,
we turned a mid-table team clash at home into a cup final, and that
we turned into a derby, didn't we?
Yeah, huge.
It should have been a cup final for us, and that's it.
Yeah.
And you know, I know that they're wear a scalp and whatever, but they're like 12. They're not really going for anything. And that's the thing. So you should have just literally just played it flat. Don't worry about it. And
you turn it into
Liverpool
a bigger
out then.
Yeah, that's the end of it. We turned it into something as well for not just for Bournemouth, but we turned it into more for us than it needed to be as well. Which is sort of the real, disappointment in many ways, because we were already facing a little bit of pressure and we made it a bigger thing. But I do think that that's something he needs to look at. But the sort of nonsense with the pen doesn't really bother me, as you say. I think that happens all the time behind the scenes. Liverpool got caught,
but it should be behind the scenes.
It should be,
yeah.
But equally though, you're doing that open training session. You don't want to give away stuff, and it's a good way to kill 5 minutes of the 20 minutes that you're being filmed for. I
was talking to
there's going to be a story around it, and we know that Arsenal can be a circus for the media. So
I mean, sorry, Dom. No, sorry, I'm very terrible at this. I was talking to some rival fans in the office, and basically the general consensus is, we all know this, that the 12:30 kickoffs are absolutely dead in any stadium. And if I was playing devil's advocate, I champion Mikel Arteta for saying, bring your dinner, bring your whatever, because ultimately, I don't know if you've been to some of those 12:30 games. I have, not for a long time. I must admit, I hold my hands up. I haven't been to the Emirates for a couple of years now. But when I used to get those 12:30 kickoffs, I mean, it was, the atmosphere was
dreadful.
It's droll. And it would be, even when we went away to other stadiums, when I used to travel away to watch a team, you'd just be like, why did I even get out of bed? There's no atmosphere anywhere. They're terrible kickoffs. Terrible.
I mean, a home game for me is like 2.5 hours anyway. So it was like, I was up and about and on a train at 9 o'clock in the morning. So it's, I've already walked half an hour to get to the train station by that point. And it's like, well, and then you have that, and it's like, I could have done done something else.
I think the other thing as well, it impacts the players as well and how they're able to get up for it, and that affects both sides, by the way. That can't be an excuse for losing, but I don't think that helps the atmosphere either, because you've got both sides struggling because it's an unusual kickoff time. They don't want chicken and rice at 10 o'clock in the morning. All these things are playing into it. It doesn't help that atmosphere for any ground, which is why, as you say, I think it's the case at all grounds. The last 12:30 I did, actually, funny enough, was bizarrely at Charlton. I don't know why. I can't remember who they were playing. It was again really, really flat. And I was
Yeah.
there with a mate
Yeah.
called Charlton, and he was like, "I've not been." It was, I think it might have been a 12 o'clock rather than 12:30. He was like, "I don't remember the atmosphere being this dead for forever."
Mm.
That
You know,
Charlton one was a 12:15.
they weren't playing Arsenal though. It was
No,
they were
no,
playing, Rotherham
yeah,
or something.
yeah,
But
I kind of recall that. I'm sure it's 12:15 kickoff.
yeah,
But,
it'd have been something around there. But
but
he goes every week, and he
times.
just like the atmosphere, and he hadn't been to a 12 o'clock kickoff before or whatever, and he was like, I don't understand. It's normally really noisy. Like, this isn't, he was really baffled by it.
Yeah, there was a report that was basically written on X by one of the actual reporters, and he was like, "Yeah, I don't understand why the Gunners weren't parading the streets and doing this, that, and the other." And it's like,
no one does. no one
does it to a 12:30 game, mate. Have you not seen one?
Yeah, most people are still trying to get their kids off to a youth club or whatever. Or
yeah.
Well, I got offered a ticket, but I couldn't take it on time because I was actually coaching, and therefore didn't notice my phone. I couldn't have got there anyway because I was coaching too late. Because it's also a couple of hours travel for me. But I didn't even pick up the message until it was nearly kickoff.
Yeah. But there you go. Lee is in. Good evening, Lee. How are we, sir? Make sure you're subscribing to Gooner Gathering as well. It's another YouTube channel, so make sure you're subscribing there as well.
It now.
Yeah. You occasionally get me on there too.
Yeah.
Double the dog.
So Lee says, "Good to see you all. How are we feeling about tomorrow?" I think we've kind of brushed over that. I mean, we're kind of anxious to see the team, but we think we're going to win pretty much all across the board. So
I think that's a fair summary.
Yeah, so that's about it, really, to be honest. Nothing exciting. Lee, if you ever want to come on the show, then give us a shout, and we'll put you in the group chat as well. Hammers Football TV says, Arteta. Do you think Arteta deserves more money with his contract they're discussing?
I don't care about the money.
Yeah, it's the club's money, and well, it's our money that we put into the club.
I mean,
I would say,
Barca.
Say again.
Red card incoming for Barca, I think here.
Yeah, it's
the same move.
Exactly the same as last week.
It's the same move.
Sorry to interrupt you there, but there's a big moment in terms
of that's right.
The potential semi-final opponents.
Yeah, it's a denial of a goal-scoring opportunity. I had my eye on it. Sorry, if I'm appearing rude because I'm looking off to the other side, because I've got one eye on this as well.
I think we're all doing it.
Yeah, we're all doing it, mate.
Should we just watch this for the last 15 minutes? Stick with us, guys.
Just in silence.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, my lad was lucky the other day because he had a dog star and he got a yellow.
Really? How much did he drive the ref?
He didn't even deny it. The referee called him over and went, "Yeah, I just didn't want him to score."
Wow.
I was like, I just said to him, I said, "Look, really well done for being honest, and I know you're a really honest lad, but next time don't say that to the ref."
Yeah. Next time, go down holding your eye. Yeah.
He's only 10, bless him.
Sorry, Hammers TV. He's 10 years old.
Yeah.
Wow. And so he's got that honesty in him still. Then.
Yeah.
Not for long. Not for long. Not with him as a coach.
Yeah.
That coupled with that desire of I don't care, they're not scoring, he's going down.
Barcelona are down to 10 men again.
Yeah,
so they've done that both legs now. So
they're still in this tie though right now because they still need a goal, and
it's going to be a frantic finish.
Well, yeah, but that being the case though, if they play us, there's 2 players down.
Yeah, that is true.
So otherwise,
but just on the contract, Sparks, you were saying about the contract, Arteta's contract.
Yeah.
You were saying, I interrupted you on the Barca.
Oh, it's just personally, I would just say it doesn't. When you see that Simeone earns £24 million a year and he's only won 2 titles in La Liga,
24 million euros.
Yeah, okay, fair enough, fair point. So and Arteta's been banded around as 10 million. I don't really know what the going
15,
rate
I
is.
believe.
And also the amount of money that, I mean, if you looked at the Forbes reports about what Arsenal now earn from their revenue and Champions League and all that sort of stuff, you have to take that into account, as well as, you know, the board take that into account, not just trophies. I know it's a bit sickly, and that's not what really football is about, but they do go, this guy has turned the ship around for us financially. You know, when we're posting numbers like that, I don't think 10 million is a big deal, personally.
No, I don't either. And I think the other
Yeah.
thing here, as you say, is he's bringing that revenue in because of where he's taken the club to. Now, the question is, does he get that over the line? If he doesn't, I think there's genuine question marks. And I think, you know, people are furious. Some people are furious about this contract. I'm not. I think this is a very sensible time to be having these discussions. You want to lock him down early to a new contract at the end of a season, going into the window, because we're going to see activity early and late because of the World Cup. Probably more likely late, but you want the stability. You want to know what's going on. But I don't want to see this signed before the end of the season, because I think there is a genuine question about whether he goes at the end of the season if he doesn't deliver anything. And it is still an if. And I think from my point of view, he should go. But I'm not convinced the board will. But I don't think I'd be rewarding with a new long-term contract in a world where he doesn't, if the board do want to renew him. But having a discussion now, I think, is sensible, because you want it locked down within weeks of the season ending, if indeed you are renewing him.
Yeah, I mean, I'd still, you know, I'd probably still give him another year, because he's kind of earned that right. It's kind of seemed a bit defeatist, but I'd only give him a year.
I want to see. I probably want to hear the leaks from the club, but I want to see what Andrea Berta's, you know,
Transfer
second album
strategy
is like.
Yeah.
Because I do think that one thing that Arteta lacks is good talent ID for attacking players. Now, you could argue that Gyökeres with Andrea Berta has not been a success either, but I think there's still something to be had out of this. And it depends on the look. If we end up losing the next 5 games, get dumped out of the Champions League, and I think most people are like, this is done. This is
see you later.
But if you make a Champions League final, and heaven forbid we miss out on a point, and you still start to think the difference could actually just be a better transfer strategy.
Which Berta's only had 1 year, really.
Yeah.
So, and we are still getting better every year under both Arteta and in terms of transfer. So my view would be that you probably roll the dice, because I think there's a really good management market out here. But equally, people are talking about Flick. We can't change from an Arteta to a Flick like that and expect instant results. That's a huge upheaval to the whole way we play. You know, these might be stark examples, but you look at Tottenham. They've tried to do that, change the whole way. Nottingham Forest this year, yes, they're teams at the end, but Spurs were up there competing before they made the changes. There's all, you know, his football is littered with examples of where they've tried to flip the entire way. Slot this season, I know it's the same manager, flip the entire way, and it doesn't work. So if you are doing it, it has to be someone similar to that.
Yeah.
Probably someone like Diego Simeone as an example.
Otherwise, you're facing another rebuild. And do you think Arsenal fans are going to be, well, we've got a new manager, so we'll be happy to drop down to 3rd, risk 4th, maybe even 5th if it's a complete disaster? Exactly. I just think be careful what you wish for, but for me, as I said, it depends on how we finish the season.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Sorry, I do think that the even if you win it, that he goes is an absolute laughable. It's just
that's an agenda.
The agenda. It's basically you just not wanting to be wrong.
That just has to be people that take the TalkSport narrative. Surely a Premier League win
it's just
huge.
Nonsense. It's just like, it's the style of play, and it's like, well, it's not as if he hasn't played a different style of play. He did play a different style of play, and we won nothing. He adapted it, and we still won nothing. He's adapted it again, and hopefully we win something. So you kind of got to take everything in a bit of context. I know, and I know it's difficult to take at times, but you can't just be sacking a manager just as soon as he's just got you over the line. And potentially he's going to bring in, if rumors are that circulating are to be believed, that better quality players are going to be coming in, and you want to get rid of a manager and replace him with somebody that we know nothing about and can potentially push us backwards.
I have the same. I don't know if you guys have the same feeling, but the feeling I have amongst some of my other Arsenal friends is it is the Rory McIlroy analogy. Is the hardest one is the first. The hardest one to win is the first one. And if we do that, touching wood, if we do that, I feel like we do go on to have an era. I think the basis would be there. The players would have it in the muscle memory on how to win a league. And I think you win the one, you're set for maybe a couple more, hopefully.
I agree. I think that's exactly where we are. And I think, look, I would probably be in the world where we win nothing, as you say, depending on where he goes. But equally, if he's here next year, I'm right behind him. The only thing that worries me about him staying for that 1 year, if we don't win anything, is whether we end up in that toxic era, sort of as we did at the end of Wenger, sort of Emery. And that starts to creep in, because I think that becomes a real problem for us.
I think we've been in that era for 3 years.
Few months,
to be honest with you, I don't think that's ever changed. I think that's always been the case. I do think I think you're right to a point, and I think that that section is getting louder. But again,
I've seen a lot of 5 days have come back out the woodwork, haven't they?
Well, I think a lot of that is because.
Sorry, excuse me, gents. Sorry, one moment. Right. Sorry.
A lot of that is because the news and the media and everything keeps barraging, and because we haven't won anything. But I think once we get over the line, I think that backs off, and it certainly has to back off a lot.
Yeah.
Whether it stops completely, it's never going to stop completely, because that we're a high level club, but. If we get one of the big ones over the line, it's no longer, well, if they get it over the line, or if they do this, and if they do that, and if they do the other, and it just feeds into the narrative the whole time. And you've got these people basically hanging on it, and it's like, well, and then they're adapting to. They're just backing their odds, aren't they? So they're basically extending their odds to a different area. So if you do win something, they can still carry on down that road.
Yeah,
they're just creating a fork in the road, aren't they? So moving the goalposts as always. And I've seen a few of them, and it's like, well, they all go, oh, it's you that don't have any standards or anything like that.
I just think it's the easiest position to take. You'd set yourself up for. You're just bracing yourself for a failure, and you go, well, he has to go because we're not going to win anything and all that sort of stuff. It's like, it's easier to not have the belief, and everyone can do standards. I mean, I could sit here and say, well, why haven't we won 38 games out of 38? Those are the standards, really.
Doesn't make it realistic.
No, of course it doesn't. Of course it doesn't. It's a strange position to take. But like you said, Sparks, earlier, I think that the majority of those people probably haven't been there from 22 years ago, when we thought, we do have a potential to do a dynasty here, and then it just fell away when we moved to the stadium.
So Alex the Bossman says, I hear what you're saying about Arteta. While I wouldn't sack him if he wins the league, I wouldn't give him another long deal. You need to qualify that and say what you call a long deal.
Is it Chelsea style? Is it 8 years?
Yeah, because I don't know what he's got to do for you if that's not the standard to get a new contract. I don't know what is. To do something that we haven't done for 22 years. And or if we won the Champions League, I'm not saying we're going to, but if we won the Champions League, something we've never won before.
Yeah, I also think if you're Arteta and you've just won a league and Arsenal come to you and say, well, we only want to extend to 1 year, you'd be like,
yeah, do one, mate. I'm off somewhere else.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Arteta is still a well sought after coach across Europe. I mean, I know he hasn't won the Premier League. There was a great post by Guillem Balaguer last night that I read on the show this morning, the Big Arsenal Breakfast show at Big Arsenal Breakfast. And it was brilliant though. He did say he mentioned Simeone winning only 2 titles in the 12, 14 years or something that he's been.
Yeah, and then the amount of wages that he gets, and nobody sees it.
I did the Simeone test at work today when everyone's going, you got to get rid of Arteta next year. You got to get rid of Arteta, and I said, well, would you consider Simeone a good coach? And, oh yeah, he's amazing. He's absolutely amazing. I said, well, he's won 2 titles in that period of time. And I agree with Guillem Balaguer. If we win one, I would expect Arteta to win more than Simeone does.
I think so.
Yeah.
Well, you experience, like you say, you experienced the first one, and and yeah, it's a springboard to bigger things or to others. Hopefully, I think the criticism from everybody really, whether you're in, out, check it all about, whatever, is he hasn't won anything along the way. But we've heard all along it's like the FA Cup's not good enough, and it would only be the same. You just move the goalpost to the League Cup, and he's only won this, and he's only won that. Yeah, he hasn't won the big trophy, whatever. And a lot of that comes from Chelsea fans anyway, to be fair. Hammers Football TV says, James, been a pleasure listening to you. Really enjoyed it. Good luck for tomorrow and help the Hammers out. Sending this down. Good night. Catch you another time. And thanks for joining us, and thanks for the sub as well. I'll sub to your channel when we're off there as well. And
thank you.
If you want to add into the group chat, give us a shout as well, because we kind of do cross clubs as well.
Gents, I hate to love you and leave you, but I've still got half a show to write, and my cats are hungry. So
in fairness, we're going to shoot.
We wrap up by 10 anyway. So
do you? Okay. All right.
We're not going to be a million miles behind you. But
thank you so much for inviting me on, Sparks. I really appreciate it. Dom, nice to
meet you. Lovely to meet you as well.
Hope to do it again soon. Come on, you Gunners. Nice one. Have a good evening. Nice one, everyone in the chat.
I'll be in the comments tomorrow morning.
I'll expect you there. again. My bloody train's delayed. I'm going to be late for work, and you're talking a load of bollocks, mate.
Yeah, indeed.
I was already angry. It's not my fault the train's late, mate. Bloody hell.
Yeah.
Anyway, have a safe journey. Have a good evening, everyone.
Yeah, nice one. Have a good one, mate.
Bye-bye.
See you later. Bye-bye. Hammers Football. Yeah, it'd be good to join the chat too. Can you drop me a message on X? Drop me a message, and we'll message on there, and I'll invite you to the group, or you can do the WhatsApp group, whichever one you want to do. Lee came up in the middle of that. Imagine social media handling the 88, 89. Yeah, it wouldn't handle it at all, would it? It just wouldn't.
No.
Get
It'd
to the
explode,
end.
literally.
Yeah, literally. Get to the last game of the season. That's not a bottling, by the way. Apparently, going to Anfield, and the only way you can lose a title is by losing 2-0. Yeah,
I do hate the bottling narrative. I think it has some credence this season, as I said, but I find that so massively overdone. Not just for Arsenal, I just mean in general.
I do agree, but I think it's just the younger generation just kind of use it a lot more than we ever did. I
think there's some truth to that. I'm getting old.
Yeah, we're all kind of not up with the times, I guess, at times. But there we go. But I could have got score prediction from him at the time, but never mind.
What's your score prediction for tomorrow then, Sparks?
I think a 2-1.
I was going to go 2-1 because I think Sporting are good enough going forward to get a goal, and I think they're going to be desperate for one. I think what is crucial tomorrow is that we do not concede first. I think that could be a real problem, both for the players and the fans. That if we concede first, I think that's I prefer. Yeah, that's a good way of looking at it. More mature. I'm like a cheddar cheese or a fine wine.
I'm not convinced about the mature bit, especially not with me. But there we go. You maybe not so much me. Just like whatever. But yeah, thanks for the diplomatic approach.
He's feeling good about himself. He's had a couple of days away.
Oh, is he? Are you back on his old channel now? Is he doing stuff on his own channel, Lee?
Yep, a little bit more now. Yep. Good to see him back on there.
On his channel. Yeah. So okay, fair enough. I will look out for that as well, Lee, because it's I did used to tune in quite a lot, but obviously you've been away for a little bit.
They had to put up with me on there, Sparks.
What's that?
You had to put up with me on there covering.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're on there anyway, whether it's you covering or not. Right,
that's true.
Well, there you go then.
We were going to try and do something on Sunday for the game, but my daughter's got a cup final, so it's not going to work.
Not happening.
No, I should just make it back for the game, but it is very touch and go. I think I'm going to miss the first 20 minutes or so at least.
Fair enough. Yes, it looks like Barcelona are going out.
Yeah, and PSG are definitely through there.
And
Two
PSG
up,
are
so.
definitely through, aren't they? Yeah. So yeah, fair enough. Fair enough.
So no chance of 6 Champions League places this season. Liverpool had to win it, didn't they?
No.
Oh no, there's Europa League. You could go through the.
Yeah. Villa needs to win
could fall out.
Europa.
All Forest win it.
All Forest win it. Yeah. I mean, imagine that. Imagine Forest win it. Imagine Forest win it instead of Villa.
Yeah, that would be
that would be quite
scenes.
Funny. That'd stop the Emery debate forever.
Should do anyway.
Yeah, my mate's a Villa fan. Yeah, I root for Villa at times, but yeah, sometimes I have to hold back, especially when it's the Emery thing. But there we go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, if you've been in the channel at any point, thank you very much for that. Please make sure you're liking, subscribing, and sharing the live. Any comments, stick them in the comment section. We'll get to them at some point. Make sure you're subscribing to Arsenal Domination and
at Arsenal Breakfast, wasn't it?
Big Arsenal Breakfast. Yeah. Babs. I have to remember the abbreviation. It's like the algebraic solutions you did when you were at school. It's just like you have to remember a tune or something like that. So that's why I stopped, because I couldn't think of that.
I just scrolled up.
And Gooner Gathering as well while you're on there. Make sure you're following them. And we've got Hammer's Football TV as well. Follow them as well. Thanks very much for that. And yeah, we'll see you next time. Good night.